Hi there. So in this part of the series, we're going to play around with the layout of the template on this AspDotNet storefront site. So we're going to adjust some of the elements in the template.master file, and we're going to look at the style sheet and how we can manipulate styles on the site. And I think at first here, we'll just kind of play around with the left-hand navigation and maybe move it around, put it on the right-hand side of the page, and add more elements to it. So first, what I'd like to do is add the manufacturer's navigation that ships with AspDotNet Storefront. And to do that, I happen to know, well, let's look at the template first. The vertical navigation comes out of a topic called template.verticalNavigation. So if we just comment that out here temporarily, you can see that that goes away. So if we bring it back and go to the admin side of the site, we can look at that topic and you can flip over to HTML view here, and we've got a wrapper around the navigation, and then an H6, which is the header of the categories, and then an XML package token that's going to render out the actual menu itself. And so out of the box, this ships with sections or departments as well as manufacturers populated here. So let's just put the manufacturers back. So there's a token here for a string resource, and we're going to call a string resource called appconfig.manufacturers_prompt plural, and we're going to call an XML package called entity menu, and so that'll be the same as above here. The only thing we're going to change is this type to manufacturer, and we'll save that. And then out on the front end, oh, looks like maybe I misspelled something here in that header. We get our manufacturer's menu. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be singular there. There we go. Yeah, so you can add all kinds of things to that vertical navigation topic. And if you want to work outside of that topic, you can just as easily work right here in the template itself. So again, we could have moved that manufacturer's XML package into this template master file. So let's do that really quick. I'm just going to remove this code here, and we'll save that. And we'll put that here right into the master page. And this isn't going to work, but let's save it anyway. There we go. Okay, so we're in the right place. And so we want to add a string resource token, and here's one right here we can borrow. And we know the name of that string resource is manufacturer prompt plural. Put that there, and now we can get rid of our token. So that should take care of the header. And then we got an XML package, and kind of like topics, we want to use a control for the XML packages. So there's a control called AspDNSF XML package. And we can get rid of this ID here, we don't need that. And we'll take out that. So we want to call the package by package name, and that is right here. And then we want to put in some runtime parameters, entity type. just like so. So that should replace that token. And there we go. So now we've got manufacturers in the left nav, and we're calling those directly from the template file. So that kind of illustrates how we'd manipulate the template master file a little bit to change things up. And now what I want to talk about is the style sheet itself. So let's look at, we're going to move out of app templates into app themes for our skin 4. And generally you'll want to modify style.css. In here you'll also have base.css, and that's sort of some baseline styles for the website and kind of does some basic layout things. And style.css is where you'll get more skin specific styles. So yep, just like the comment says up here. And what we're looking for here is I'd like to move the left nav over to the right hand side of the page just to play with the layout a little bit. So the way I usually do that when working with CSS is use an inspector, either Firefox or Chrome or Safari. Those browsers will all have an inspector built in. And we can see here that we've got this vertical nav wrapper, and that seems to be that left-hand column of the website. And I can also see that it's floating left and that it's got a width of 236 pixels. And I can also see here this content wrapper is floating right, and it's got a width on it as well. So to just swap those around, it's pretty simple. We're going to look for this vertical nav wrapper class in the style.css style sheet. And it says right here it's on line 469. So I can just go back to the style sheet here and go to line 469. And that's where it says float left there. So I'm just going to change that to a float right. And then if I go back over here, I'm going to take a look at the content wrapper, and on like line 507 it's saying we've got that float right on the content wrapper. We want to switch that to a float left. So let's go to line 507, float that left, and save it. And just get this guy out of our way and refresh the site. And there you go. So now we've got a right-hand navigation and the content's on the left. And another thing people will often want to do is just get rid of the navigation altogether and just kind of just use a top nav. That's pretty common. The way you do that is to go into the template here, find that vertical nav wrapper, and for now we'll just comment it out. But you basically just delete it like so. And let's see what that does for us. So now we have no nav on the right hand side, but another thing that kind of happens there is our content area is not as wide as we'd like it to be. So I can see here that it's still floating left and it's got that width on it. So what we'll probably want to do is go back to that line and take that float off of there and remove that width as well. That won't make our image bigger, but it will kind of grow that text a little bit. So let's take a look here. And then right here we've got that content wrapper, and I'm just going to take those styles away and refresh. And now when we inspect that content wrapper, you can see my blue box here is full width, and now we'd probably just want to find a new image and put it in there. But yeah, so those are some of the basics of changing the layout of your ASP.NET Storefront site. You'll want to work with that template master file and the style CSS file. And yeah, there's some great resources out there on HTML and CSS and how to manipulate those. So have fun.